They didn't reject you. Stop telling yourself that story. What they did was worse. They controlled you by making you invisible. They turned silence into a weapon and your need for answers into a prison. If this feels like I'm reading your mind right now, hit that subscribe button and tell me in the comments. What's the longest you've waited for someone to text you back? I read every single comment, and your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. Here's what really happened. They didn't have the courage to reject you cleanly. A clean rejection would have set you free. Instead, they chose the cruelest form of control. Silence. They kept you in emotional limbo, checking your phone, analyzing their last message, wondering what you did wrong. John Bowlby, the psychologist who studied human attachment, discovered something profound. Uncertainty creates deeper anxiety than clear rejection. When someone ignores you, your brain doesn't get closure. It keeps searching, keeps hoping, keeps you trapped in a loop of false possibility. Think about it. When you were a child and your parents gave you the silent treatment, what happened? You didn't feel relieved. You felt anxious. You tried harder. You became smaller, quieter, more desperate for their attention. That's exactly what they're doing to you now, using your attachment system against you. Your brain is wired to seek resolution. When someone doesn't respond, your nervous system interprets it as danger. Not physical danger, but social danger. The kind that thousands of years ago could mean being cast out from the tribe, being left to survive alone. Your body doesn't know this is just a text message. It responds as if your survival depends on their approval. That silence wasn't about you being unworthy. It was about them being unable to handle direct confrontation. They chose your confusion over their discomfort. They preferred your pain over their awkwardness. But let's go deeper. Why do people use silence as a weapon? Because it's effective. It keeps you hooked without them having to commit. It maintains their power while avoiding responsibility. They get to feel wanted without giving anything in return. This isn't accidental, this is a pattern. Maybe they learned it from someone who did it to them. Maybe they discovered that keeping people uncertain keeps people trying harder. Maybe they're so conflict avoidant that they'd rather torture you slowly than hurt you quickly. Either way, they've turned your need for closure into their source of control. They've weaponized your kindness, your hope, your willingness to give the benefit of the doubt. You've been treating their silence like a mystery to solve. Like if you just figure out the right words, the perfect timing, the ideal approach, they'll finally respond. But here's the truth that will set you free. Their silence is their answer. You've been analyzing their last message like a detective. Was that period at the end aggressive? Did that emoji feel distant? You've been studying their social media for clues. They posted a story but didn't reply to you. They were active 30 minutes ago but still haven't opened your message. Stop. Stop turning yourself into a detective in your own love story. Stop making their basic human decency a prize you have to earn. Stop treating their attention like a scarce resource you need to strategically capture. When someone wants to talk to you, they talk to you. When someone wants to see you, they make plans. When someone values your presence, they don't make you guess about it. When someone wants you in their life, you know it. There's no guessing, no analyzing 3-day delays, no wondering if they're busy or just not interested. People make time for what they value. People respond to what they care about. You know what real rejection looks like? It's honest, it's clear, it might sting for a moment, but it doesn't torture you for months. Real rejection says, I'm not interested, or I don't see this working out. It hurts, but it heals. What they gave you was emotional manipulation disguised as indifference. They kept you available without being available themselves. They kept their options open while closing yours. That's not rejection. That's control. And the cruelest part. You blamed yourself. You thought you weren't enough, weren't interesting enough, weren't worthy enough. You made their inability to be direct about your worth. Stop doing that. You started editing yourself. Maybe you were too eager, too available, too much, so you pulled back. You waited longer to respond. You tried to seem busier, more mysterious, more like someone worth chasing. You turned yourself into a strategy instead of staying human. You convinced yourself that love requires games, that interest must be earned through confusion, that the right person will chase you even when you disappear, but also won't be scared away when you're fully present. You tied yourself in knots trying to be perfect for someone who couldn't even be present. Meanwhile, they stayed comfortable. They got your attention without giving theirs. They felt desired without being vulnerable. They kept you hoping without offering hope. Let me tell you what Bowlby also discovered about attachment. When a caregiver is inconsistent, sometimes present, sometimes absent, sometimes responsive, sometimes cold, it creates what he called anxious attachment. The child becomes hypervigilant, constantly scanning for signs of abandonment or acceptance. That's what they did to you. They turned you into an anxiously attached child again, constantly watching for signals, constantly trying to earn what should be freely given, constantly afraid that one wrong move will make them disappear completely. But here's what they didn't count on. You're not a child anymore. You don't need their approval to survive. You don't need their attention to know you're worthy. You don't need their response to confirm you exist. You have the power to break this cycle, to stop chasing shadows, to stop making someone's inability to communicate clearly your problem to solve. Their silence says nothing about your value and everything about their character. Someone with integrity would have given you clarity. Someone with respect would have given you honesty. Someone worth your energy would have given you their attention. You deserve people who choose you clearly, communicate with you openly, and respect you enough to be direct. Not people who leave you guessing, hoping, waiting for crumbs of attention like you're grateful for their scraps. The right person won't make you feel crazy for expecting basic communication. They won't make you question your worth because they can't be consistent. They won't use your feelings as entertainment or your hope as their backup plan. Here's what changes today. You stop interpreting silence as a challenge to try harder. You start seeing it as information. When someone consistently doesn't respond, doesn't reach out, doesn't make effort, believe them. Their actions are telling you exactly where you stand. But first you need to grieve, not the person, the fantasy, the version of them that existed in your hope, the relationship that lived in your imagination, the future you built in your mind with someone who was never really there. Grieve the energy you spent analyzing their mixed signals. Grieve the sleep you lost, wondering what you did wrong. Grieve the way you shrunk yourself trying to be more palatable, more worthy of their attention. Grieve the version of yourself that believed you had to earn love through confusion. The part of you that thought, if you just tried harder, loved deeper, gave more, they would finally see your worth. Then, understand this. Their silence protected you from someone who can't love with clarity. Someone who chooses confusion over communication. Someone who prefers power over partnership. You dodged a bullet disguised as a broken heart. This is what secure attachment looks like. It's consistent. It's clear. It's comfortable with directness. It doesn't need games to feel important or silence to maintain power. The person meant for you won't make you decode their feelings like you're solving a puzzle. They won't leave you hanging in emotional limbo. They won't use silence as punishment or control. You are not too much, you are not too little. You are not the problem that needs fixing to earn someone's response. You are a person who deserves clear communication and genuine interest, not games disguised as mystery. The right people won't make you wonder where you stand. They won't leave you analyzing their intentions or questioning your worth. They'll show up consistently, communicate clearly, and make their interest obvious. Your peace begins the moment you stop making their silence about you and start making it about them. Their inability to be direct is their limitation, not your deficiency. You don't need their attention to validate your worth. You don't need their response to confirm your value. You don't need their interest to prove you're interesting. What you need is the courage to stop chasing people who run from clarity and start attracting people who run toward it. What you need is to understand that being ignored by the wrong person is protection, not punishment. Stop checking your phone every 5 minutes. Stop refreshing their social media. Stop analyzing the timestamps on their last activity. Stop making their silence the center of your emotional world. Start honoring your own need for clarity. Start respecting your own time and energy. Start believing that you deserve better than breadcrumbs of attention from someone who can't even give you honesty. The silence that's driving you crazy right now, it's not a test. It's not a challenge. It's not something you failed at. It's information. It's them showing you exactly who they are. Believe them. Believe their actions over their occasional words. Believe their patterns over their promises. Believe their silence over your hope. Their silence didn't diminish you. It revealed them. And now that you see clearly, you can choose clearly. Choose people who choose you. Choose communication over confusion. Choose your peace over their games. You were never rejected. You were never not enough. You were simply dealing with someone who chose control over kindness, manipulation over honesty. And that says everything about them and nothing about you. Checking your phone every 5 minutes. Stop refreshing their social media. Stop analyzing the timestamps on their last activity. Stop making their silence the center of your emotional world. Start honoring your own need for clarity. Start respecting your own time and energy. Start believing that you deserve better than breadcrumbs of attention from someone who can't even give you honesty. The silence that's driving you crazy right now. It's not a test. It's not a challenge. It's not something you failed at. It's information. It's them showing you exactly who they are. Believe them. Believe their actions over their occasional words. Believe their patterns over their promises. Believe their silence over your hope. Their silence didn't diminish you. It revealed them. And now that you see clearly, you can choose clearly. Choose people who choose you. Choose communication over confusion. Choose your peace over their games. You were never rejected. You were never not enough. You were simply dealing with someone who chose control over kindness, manipulation over honesty. And that says everything about them and nothing about you.